Hello and welcome. By the title of this video, you can probably tell I'm quite excited. My cube is finally going to be on Magic Online. For those who haven't seen my cube, I'll talk about it in a second. And I've posted a couple videos showing its progress. But it's going to be up on Magic Online around June timeframe. And I'm just excited. I'm going to be making a ton of videos on it. I'm excited to watch everyone else draft it. You know, definitely share your deck lists with me when that happens. So that's the big announcement of this video. It's going to be there. To get prepared for that, I really want the cube list to be as good as possible. So I've been doing a lot of drafts in my Discord to prepare. So if you're not a member of my Discord already, it's definitely worth checking out. I'm really working to make it to be a place where people can just come together and play cube draft. We also do Storybook Brawl. I'm trying to set up a variety of different games where people can just come and play games. It's kind of the main objective, play games and hang out. So I've started doing scheduled events. I need to make like a list of scheduled events, but right now in server notifications, we're drafting my cube 6 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Sunday at 12 and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then during the other days, it's open to drafting other people's cubes. Like if you have a cube you want to draft, you can join in and do that. If you want to be notified when this happens, you go to roles, and if you want to get anyone for cube, that would be here. So you can go to that, and then in like bot spam and abuse, you want to get the cube role, right? So you can do, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Role cube. I already have the role, so it took it away, but if you didn't have it, this would have looked like. That gives you the role. And then anytime anyone types at anyone for cube, it'll notify you when a cube draft is going down. So we just did one. In fact, I just recorded that, so I'm not going to show that. But yeah, here's how it's set up. It'll be like at anyone for cube, and it'll highlight, and it'll give you notifications that we're drafting it. The way we draft the cube is on MTGA draft, which is, go here. I was looking up some magic wallpapers, the one you were looking at in the beginning of this video. So you'll draft on here. And if you're running one of these drafts, the quick way to do it is go to my cube list. Oh yeah, I'm cutting Fallen Shinobi. Get out of there, Fallen Shinobi. And then you can export the cube as cardnames.txt. And then on MTGA draft, you upload a custom card list. Pick my cube or whatever cube you want to do. And then you can set the things, you can invite people through this link, and then you draft. So, you know, right now it's just me, so we can have 7 bots. But then you go through and pick cards with your cube list, with my cube list, whatever. So that's how we do it, and then we play on Cockatrice. So, yeah, we can't really do it on Magic Online. It's just too expensive. So we've been playing on Cockatrice, but that's really exciting. I'm going to set up schedules, but if you're interested in that, definitely join the cube, do some drafts with us, because I want to get the cube as good as possible. And I'm also going to be running a tournament of my cube in my Discord. So if you want to practice for that and help us get the cube prepared for a tournament, there's going to be prizes, probably some art, signed proxies, maybe, things like that. I'm still figuring out what the prizes are going to be, but it's going to be fun. So definitely join, practice for that. And then, yeah, just get ready for the cube online. So to showcase the cube, I need to make some blog posts. The cube itself is very complicated in a good way. It's a synergy based cube. So if you haven't seen it, it's focused on power, or synergy over power. So it's a powered cube, but I don't want cards that just win the game on their own. I want the win conditions to be something that you plan out. So like the control decks, there is Jace the Mind Sculptor because he's kind of iconic, but aside from that, there's very few planeswalkers you can use to actually win the game with. I think there's like 4 planeswalkers in the cube, including some role players like Chandra, and my current favorite is where'd he go? Kaito Shizuki. Just good at ninjas essentially, but still a decent player on its own. But that's the objective, is like you need to plan out your win conditions. They're not just going to happen to you, but you have all of the broken enablers of power. So like you get stuff like cranial plating. Where's that card? It's a good card. Yeah, cranial plating. So that, you know, you get this, then you start drafting cheap artifacts. That's a fun one. There's cards like Allurin. All the creatures with CMC3 or less you can cast with flash and for free. So a good win con here, you have Allurin. Then you get like Shrieking Drake. When it comes into play, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. Shrieking Drake bounces itself. So you get Infinite Storm that way. And then you can cast like Brain Freeze to mill your opponent out. If you have Shrieking Drake plus all of that plus Glimpse of Nature, now you have Infinite Storm, infinite card draw, so you can draw your deck. If you combine it with Earthcraft, tap an untapped basic creature you control and tap a basic land. Now you have infinite storm, infinite card draw, and then whenever the Drake enters, you can untap stuff. To untap lands, you can go off with that. There's cards like Intruder Alarm. Whenever a creature comes into play, untap all creatures. So if you have like Shrieking Drake plus Intruder Alarm plus, Birds of Paradise, you get infinite creature untaps and enter the battlefields. So that's kind of the objective of this cube. And there's a ton of different things that you can go off with. We have like a Diregraph Colossus plus, where is it? Gravecrawler, plus like a sack outlet, like Ashnod's Altar. You can get infinite mana that way. It seems like it would play out like you're drafting towards combo, but it really ends up being like this interesting mid-range game where every deck is kind of like combo control or aggro combo, where your game plan number one, you're not just all in on Gravecrawler combo. You draft like some zombies, some sack outlets, like where is it? Goblin Bombardment, sacrifice creatures to ping. So you like start pinging your opponent, disrupting them, killing their creatures. And then eventually either you start aggroing them out until you get to a point where you can combo finish them. Like say you're running Rally the Ancestors. Return each creature card with converted mana cost extra less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Eventually you hit a critical mass with Goblin Bombardment, Rally the Ancestors, where you can ping your opponent out, or you assemble some combo kill with like persist creatures, like where is he? Putrid Goblin has persist. So if you assemble him with Unoffensive Kindred Spirit, whenever he dies, he gets a -1 counter. He comes back with a +1 counter, so he dies infinitely. And then if you have like a sacrifice outlet with him, you ping your opponent. So there's a lot to take in. Definitely worth looking at the cube. The best experience you can get is to just draft it and see how it goes. So that's what I recommend, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm running a sample draft of my cube just to show you kind of what it feels like to draft, and then as you play it more, you'll get a feel for what the archetypes are. I'll do a write-up on what each archetype is and kind of what the intention of each of the cards are. But just keep in mind, you gotta plan out your win conditions. It's not just gonna show up to you for the most part. So we're gonna get to the draft. I'm gonna keep this video as short as I can, and I'll see you guys there. All right, we're here for a sample draft, and I'm drafting with only 5 people. I couldn't get too many last minute, so we're doing 6 packs of 9 cards. I just wanted to give you a feel for like what's in the cube. Like it's really difficult to see what the cards are and do when you're just looking at a list. So like watching someone developing out a deck hopefully helps things play along. So there's a lot of good enablers like Junk Diver, General Ferris, Glissa. Demonic Tutor I think is probably the card I'm going to take. Wooded Foothills is also a decent consideration though. And I like Glissa, but Demonic Tutor being able to get any card is great. Okay, there's a lot of good cards here. Metallic Mimic is actually surprisingly strong. It doesn't feel that way, but it's an enabler for persist combo. It's good with elves like Wirewood Symbiote, Metallic Mimic. You can do things that way. It's actually pretty decent in zombies because it's just like any creature type. And then a lot of the artifacts are constructs and they have modular. So like this giving them counters is really good too. So that's a consideration, but I haven't been able to draft the zombies deck. Yeah, you know what? I kind of want to force the zombies deck. I don't think this is a good idea, but I have not been able to draft it, in a while or really ever. So I just want to see how it goes. I think probably the optimal pick is Metallic Mimic Stay Open, or Wirewood Symbiote's really strong too in the Elves deck. Yeah, with like Circle of Dreams Druid, but Headless Rider Diregraph Colossus is a pretty good start too. There's a lot of good sacrifice combos, like Jury Master Their View, plus like Diregraph Colossus, Headless Rider can do some cool stuff. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Ooh, and there's our Mayhem Devil. Okay, so we have all of our 3 drops. This is actually kind of surprising. The cube is not normally this high of a curve. In fact, there are like a substantial number of 1 drops, but we got all our 3 drops first. And that's kind of the weird part. Drafting with 5 players isn't the best representative of like what the cube is going to feel like because the packs are pretty small and stuff. But I'm recording the video now and I just wanted to give you guys a feel for what the cubes and decks will look like. Like you can get an Elvish War Master, and we might be getting cut, which could be a problem. So we have to consider a pivot. Elves is great. I mean, Priest of Titania going that late means pretty much everyone else passed them. But Dam's also good in our deck. We could move into like Black-White, Black-Red. Play with Fire is a really good card too. So yeah, I think we're going to leave Elves to be open for other people. And we'll take some of the removal, because removal in this cube is fantastic. It also feels like this card might not be great, like it's just a shock, but a lot of creatures in the cube have 2 toughness or less. So shock being able, this acts kind of like a Doomblade that can also go upstairs is pretty good. Fiery Confluence is great. Thalia is also a good card. In black-white, there's a lot of good sacrifice things going on there, but black-red feels open too, and I don't really know what to take. Like, I'm supposed to be in Mardu colors, I think. I don't think I want a 4-drop. I'm going to take Thalia. She's just a really strong effect that gives us game against some stuff. Castle Lochthwain's great, as is Abbott. I'll take Castle. I think I'm going to get enough playables here. We're drafting, more than the normal amount of packs, so just having lands that give you utility is great. Last pick, Beaumont Courier. Some might say red is open. Alright. So we get Sword of the Meek to do Thopter Foundry stuff. Infernal Grasp is great. Red and 6 is very strong in this cube. I really want to just remove the ability for it to deal damage. Like, I want this Planeswalker just because it can get lands, but oddly enough, I would like to make a custom version that is worse, which is interesting. I think I'm just going to take a Plateau. I don't really know what I'm doing yet. Infernal Grasp is a great card, but, red-white might be the lane for me. Just getting fixing is great. Helps you stay open. Here's some zombies. So Lazotep Reaper could trigger Digraph Colossus and stuff like that. Tidal Scholar also a zombie, so that's something to consider. Wooded Foothills can grab Plateau, and then Chromox can just make my deck a bit faster. I think I'm just going to take the Chromox and hope to wheel something, although Scrubland is pretty good if I think I'm going to want to go Tidal Scholar. So maybe I just take that. Move into like Mardu. Wow, that's a late Mana Crypt. I will take that. Hopefully wheel like a Hypnotoric or something. What was that, like a 3rd pick Mana Crypt? Alright, I'm not complaining. One thing about this cube is I want this cube to be designed such that sometimes you have to pass power for synergy cards. Ooh, Carrion Feeder. Like, if you're drafting a deck and, like, let's say you're drafting Elves, and Glimpse of Nature comes around in the same pack as, like, a Soul Ring, I think you're supposed to take Glimpse of Nature, because Elves doesn't really benefit from Soul Ring, whereas Glimpse of Nature just lets your deck go off. Yeah, I'm gonna take this Carrion Feeder. The card seems sweet. You can go really deep. Ooh. Murderous Cut versus Firebolt. So Murderous Cut kills anything. Firebolt just good and goes face. Second Sunrise is spicy too with Carrion Feeder. You can like sacrifice your whole team and then bring them all back. But I think this deck probably just wants the Firebolt. I don't know. Maybe taking red cards is not the right play because white or I don't know. I think just all my colors are open. Yeah, okay. Infernal Pyromancer, Seasoned Pyromancer, and Infernal Grasp both came around. Bro, that fly is back. It's not friendly. Actually, it's a different fly, but we've been doing a lot of gardening, like in and out of the house, and then like flies come in when you move. I don't know what to take. Seasoned Pyromancer versus Infernal Grasp. I think I'm gonna take the Infernal Grasp. Nah, this card's too good. I'm just scared of how many 3-drops I have, but yeah, all of these cards came around. I think I'm going to take Tidehollow Scholar because I need some amount of disruption from my opponent's hand. Hypnotoric came around and brought back. Alright, we are in the open lane. And by the open lane, I mean in 3 colors, at least at the moment. I think Fallen Shinobi is actually probably going to get cut from the cube. It is a zombie and ninja and all that stuff, but I just don't know if it does enough to merit costing 4 mana. And the other problem is like you're gonna steal your opponent's synergy pieces, which is always a little bit awkward. Here we could take Chromatic Star because my mana's weird. Blasting Station is actually pretty good too. But I think for now I'm probably gonna need this Chromatic Star. Because there's a lot of sack outlets that cost 2 mana as well. Ooh, okay. Badlands is great. Shambling Ghast, one of the cards I'm looking for. Jeweled Amulet is a spicy one. It's kind of like a mana dork, but for any color. Because you cast it for 0, and then you store up 1 mana, and then you can use that mana the next turn. So like you play this turn 1, you float the you add the mana, and the next turn you have 3 mana. So if I want to play like, Digraph Colossus on turn 2, this is a good option, but I'm gonna take the fixing while I can, because now I have Plateau and Scrubland, so now any other fetches in my colors help me. I could take Path to Exile or Watery Grave. Guess I'm just gonna take Path to Exile. I don't think I'm super likely to play blue. I don't think I want a Fallen Shinobi here. And here we can take Ribbon Inspector. I think Phyrexian Metamorph might actually be a card I want to cut. It's weird, but it's kind of the same problem where like your opponents likely don't have things that you want to copy, so you're just copying your own stuff. At which point you might as well just play, you know, a unique card that does something extra. But copying stuff like what's that card? It like gets creatures from, or whenever an artifact dies, you get a different artifact back with like a lesser converted mana cost. Copying those is pretty spicy. We're gonna take Duress. Blasting Station came around. There is a Mana Tithe and a Snuff Out. All good removal. Blasting Station with Mayhem Devil is like really spicy though, especially with like Digraph Colossus and Headless Rider. You can just like start killing all of your zombies. Yeah, I think I gotta take this. And this is kind of the thing where you take engine cards over, you know, one-time use effects, because now we have this thing set up where we're like, we have Blasting Station, we could have Mayhem Devil in play, and then we could just like start nuking all of our creatures for value. I'm on board with that. Past in Flames. And with only 5 people, it's unlikely that like every archetype's going to be open. Just fine. Ooh, there's a Magda. I don't have Mutavault. That was Mishra's Factory, I think, that I passed. Bloodghast fits in the deck. Kolaghan's Command is just great, but I'm really concerned about how many 3-drops I have. So I think I'm just going to take this Bloodghast. I mean, it fits with all the stuff I'm doing. I would like to find a fetch, but I guess I have 2 more packs. Wow, we have a lot of playables. This might be too many cards, but it's still fun. Putrid Goblin seems great. Undying, so you can sacrifice it a bunch. And it's also a zombie to go with these dudes. Do I want another Scrubland, though? Because Putrid Goblin is likely to come around. I think I do. There's Lightning Bolt and Woe Strider in the same pack. Actually, red is feeling cut, so I could move into black-white, actually. Right? Like a light red splash for Mayhem Devil. That's definitely an option. But I think, either way, I think I'm still taking Lightning Bolt. Plateau, okay, Relentless Dead is great. So now I can start looping stuff. It's a late Chain Lightning. I think if I had better fixing for red, maybe Chain Lightning is the pick there, but I kind of want to do zombie stuff. So I'll take that. So far this deck is looking really spicy. Ooh, Bloodstained Mire, Changeling Outcast. I have to take the fetch though. I'm gonna get enough playables, and being able to use all of my mana seems really good. But yeah, there's the Changeling Outcast is great because it's a zombie and a ninja. So like you can go Changeling Outcast with your Rico, or you can go Changeling Outcast zombies. It's just also unblockable for good tempo. Take Kolaghan's Command because it's a good card. I'll end up playing Dam. Putrid Goblin did come around. Okay. We're doing some stuff. I want to see Crypt Feeder? What's the name of that card? It's like the 1-drop zombie that you can tap 3 zombies to draw cards. That one seems pretty good. And then the one zombie you... Oh my gosh. Okay. Red is... Red is open, to say the least. Maybe we cut white and go... Ooh. Corpse Knight really is good. That one's likely to come around, so maybe I take like Ember's Shieldbreaker for the sideboard, because I don't really have any ways to deal with artifacts right now. Yeah, we'll take Shieldbreaker and then wheel Corpse Knight. And at this point, I'm looking at cutting these white cards. I'll splash the Tidehollow Sculler and maybe Path. But now I get to play Play with Fire and maybe Firebolt. We can see. This Fiend is really good. Taiga doesn't really help. Dragon's Rage Channeler is cheap, which is something to consider. I have quite a few non-creature spells to do stuff, but I think I like it was Merrick Fiend, disrupting their hand. This card in this cube is very good too, and I only have Duress right now. Makeshift Munitions versus Blood-Soaked Champion. Both good options. Right now my only sack outlets are Blasting Station and Carrion Feeder. Oh, and I have a Woe Strider. This lets me play like more of a controlling deck. Like I could just sack this and start hitting my opponent with stuff. But the fact that it costs mana is kind of rough. I'll take the Blood-Soaked Champion. I don't even know if I'm going to play Mind Twist. Is that surprising? I guess I have Mana Crypt, so I should probably take it. This deck is looking good. My fixing is looking awkward. But I have the one fetch, so I can take that. Oh, this is what I was talking about. This is a pretty good card to copy. But Judith is great in my deck. The problem is I have like enough 3-drops already. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, shield deals 1 damage to anything. I mean, that's really good with like, you know, Relentless Dead, you can loop that. I also really like Nested Shambler though, as a 1-drop that just gives you so much sack fodder. This is tough. I don't know what to take. Judith is really good. But I think you need the 1-drop enablers. I don't know, that could definitely be wrong. This also sets me up to get a, can you imagine Skull Clamp with a Nested Shambler? Not only does it give you, you know, a token, but Skull Clamp increases Nested Shambler's power. So you get more tokens when you sacrifice it. Kind of just a beautiful thing. Okay, so we're looking, wow. There's a lot of cards going late. I'm excited to see what decks everyone else ended up on. Ooh, Corvold. So this is really good in the sack deck. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a counter on it, draw a card. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you sacrifice another permanent. This card's good in like the lands deck because it's just good with fetch lands, but it's also good in like black-red sacrifice, black-white sacrifice. It kind of just does all the stuff you're looking for. I could take Godless Shrine. Yawgmoth's also insane. I have enough black-white fixing. You know what? Let's take this Yawgmoth. I love Yawgmoth. I don't know if I even want Mind Twist, but this Mana Crypt into Yawgmoth really lets me do some stuff. I'm wondering if I should add the Undying Zombie. Ooh, Pawn of Ulamog? Whenever Pawn of Ulamog or another non-token creature you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you make an Eldrazi Scion. I mean, we're gonna Blasting Station their pants off. I can take Ragavan. I mean, Shieldbreaker's for the sideboard. My red fixing is pretty weak. I'm not playing that. Plateau. I just have a little bit, so I am concerned about taking Ragavan. But I don't think anyone is going to pick up my Pawn of Ulamog. In a cube this small, you can be a lot more confident, or not a cube, but a draft this small, you can be a lot more confident about wheels. But yeah, like if you're going spells, Kess would be sweet. Memnite has a lot of synergies. Helm of Awakening is good in Storm. It's good in like Clan Ironworks combos. Yeah, I just, this cube is so fun. Ephemerate, there's a lot of loops there. And this pack, ooh, Rally the Ancestors. Return each creature card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile those creatures at the beginning of your next end step. So I'm really missing the creatures that trigger damage when they enter the battlefield. Also, Teal Baron, what are you doing? Because like if I had Blood Artist or something like that plus sack outlets, I could just go crazy. Right now, Rally the Ancestors is really only good with Blasting Station. It's insane there, but I don't really have much removal. So I think this card would be amazing for my archetype if I had some of the creature enablers. I guess I have Corpse Knight. Oh, no. In the very next pack, there's a Zulaport Cutthroat. I mean, that's probably the pickup, right? I love Blood Crypt and all, but this card I need. So now maybe Rally the Ancestors comes around? That seems unlikely, but I'll take a thing. Grove of the Burn Wills is there for punishing fire. Barb Spike is a fun one. It's good with like Goblin Welder because you keep getting 1/1 artifacts every time. It's also 2 artifacts for 2 mana, so like Cranial Plating and things like that care about it. I don't know if I'm Bone Crushing Giant, but I think that's better than Firebolt because it's also a creature I can sacrifice. I just don't think I have the mana for the red cards right now. Ooh, Krark. Krark is a spicy one. But no. So Krark, people assume Krark is good in like just Storm, but like imagine Krark with even Duress, Play with Fire, Past Exile, Krark him to Torok. It's pretty backbreaking. I just don't have the mana to support it. I think I'm cutting Ragavan. I like the instant speed burn. Chain Lightning. I think I'm going to cut Play with Fire. So this is 36. So I need to cut quite a few more cards. Ooh, Demonic Tutor getting Blasting Station is going to be nice. I mean, my deck kind of does all this stuff. I'm missing fetch lands. I only saw 1 fetch this whole draft so far. We can get rid of Beaumont Courier. Chromatic Star. I mean, it's good with Mayhem Devil, I guess. Last pick bonus round. Nobody has any respect for this card. I almost could have drafted a full Storm list with this. Oh, that was like the best thing I could have asked for. Oh my gosh, this deck is good. So 36 plus 4, that would put me at 13 land. This deck probably wants 16 land, so we can cut Chromatic Star. Maybe cut like a 3-drop, but they're all insane. I think I'm just going to play a little bit clunkier of a deck. Relentless Dead, Putrid Goblin. I don't have enough sack outlets maybe to merit Bloodghast. Like I want more of the synergy-based sacrifice. So this is 15 land including Mana Crypt. Kolaghan's Command is great. Maybe I just cut Heartless Act for now, and then I set it in against an opponent who has more stuff. So this deck's pretty good. It's missing obviously some fast mana, just Mana Crypt might not be enough, but it has some awesome stuff going for it. You know, you can really go deep on sacrifice. I'm missing the discard. Maybe for that reason I do want Mind Twist. You need disruption in this cube. So we bring in Mind Twist. I mean, I've Mesmeric Fiend, Duress, Hymn to Torok, Tide Hollow Skull, or Mind Twist. But you need like a lot of disruption. Maybe I can get rid of Blood-Soaked Champion for now. That's the deck. Let's look at what everyone else drafted. Alright, so I can see what cards people drafted in the MTGA draft thing, but it doesn't show me how they built their deck. But on Discord, we all posted our own deck list, so I could just go through what they've shown. So this is Flaky Layers. They drafted Time Walk, Counterspell, Mana Leak, Miscalc, Thopter Foundry, Sword of the Meek, Seagate, Stormcaller, Time Walk. Wow, this deck looks really sweet. Force of Will, Force of Negation, Dig Through Time. So it's, ooh, they even have Tinker to find Thopter Sword combos. Blast Zone to kill a lot of 1-drops because they don't really have any. Yeah, this deck looks really spicy. It's about as close to a control deck. Oh, they have Treasure Cruise too. Yeah, this is just a solid blue-white control deck right here. A lot of removal, a lot of disruption, tempo, and then a combo finish. I think combo control is probably the best thing you can aim for in this cube, because it's really hard to get enough to just like, you don't have the planeswalkers, right, to just play good cards and win there. You need some type of synergy engine. So combo control, Thopter Sword is one, Ninjas is a good one, Clan Ironworks, there's a way to do control with that deck. So this is a really sweet deck. They even have Daze. Yeah, this deck looks really good. I like that. Grenroot drafted Bant Flicker. They have Field of the Dead, Savannah Strip Mine. They don't have any way to cast lands faster, but they do have Life from the Loam, Crucible of Worlds to go that way. Fairgrounds Warden for removal. Golos Defined Strip Mine. I think this deck's pretty good. Oh, they have Soul Ring. Okay, Soul Ring definitely helps turbo things out. I think this deck's good in the fair matchups. It's gonna have trouble against like the more combo-y decks because it doesn't have too much instant speed removal, but I think Night of Autumn helps. Fairgrounds Warden helps, so Ephemerate on those definitely can do some work. And it can win pretty quickly if left unchecked. Primetime drafted, red-white artifacts. I like this. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Not really. They have Mox Opal, Mox Ruby, Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, Tolarian Academy. That's a lot. Memnite, Zabaz, Iron Apprentice. Let's look for payoffs. They have Arcbound Shikari is a good one. Etched Champion is a good one. Smuggler's Copter, Barbed Spike. Yeah, this just looks like a really spicy, very low to the ground red-white artifacts deck. I like it a lot. Like you could Mox Opal, Mox Ruby, Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond. You could play so much stuff on turn one. You would have no hand left, but it would be really spicy. Back to Discord. This is my deck after I built it. I think you already saw it, but I went through and made it. I added Mind Twist because I wanted more disruption. And our fixing's okay. Another fetch would be huge, but you know, white doesn't seem too hard to come by for those two cards. And we definitely have some combo kill potential there. This was Teal Baron's deck. We lost their ability to make the deck, but they went in mono green. Do they have Glimpse of Nature? No, but they have Rite of Harmony. So that works too. But they're mono green with Guy's Cradle, Mox Emerald, Black Lotus, Craterhoof Behemoth, Elvish Archdruid, Circle of Dreams Druid, Elvish Warmaster. Wow. Yeah, this is just a really good Elves deck. Fecundity, if you want to go that route. Titania, Protector of Argoth. Yeah, that deck's really sweet. And I think that's all the lists. So yeah, that hopefully gives you a feel for like what one draft of the cube might look like. There's a ton of other ones. I guess I could just go through the game logs and see. We drafted last night. This was my deck. Obviously it doesn't show what's in the main deck and sideboard, but I went Blue-Black Ninja with Kaito Shizuki. Oh, I can right-click and show you what cards are? Oh, that's so much better. Ingenious Infiltrator, Ninja of the Deep Hour. So I just had a lot of ninjas, and then like Changeling Outcast, Thousand-Faced Shadow, Spellstutter Sprite, Moon Circuit Hacker. So a ton of ninjas, and then a ton of disruption. I was just missing a lot of one-drop removal spells. So my deck worked. Like Ratchet Bomb's really good at coming back from things. Baleful Strix and stuff. Daze. Snap was really good too. But I think I needed like a couple more fatal pushes. So I added a couple more to the cube. What is this? This person went mono green Shoe Lane, Intruder Alarm, Evolutionary Leap combo. Intruder Alarm, it's just a really good card. Yeah, they're like kind of elves deck. Grenroot went Storm. Yeah, I mean, this deck looks pretty spicy. I think. Oh, it's missing a win con, isn't it? It has bonus round. Bonus round is a really good card. Plus Past in Flames, plus Fiery Confluence. I mean, you could go like Dualcaster Mage bonus round, Yawgmoth's Will. This deck has the ability to win, but Storm is always tricky. Bonus round plus Metamorphosis. Oh, something I love though. Flaky Wind. Holy cow. There's a lot of power open in these drafts. Mox Ruby, Mox Pearl, Mox Opal, Mox Jet. That's a lot of power. Oh, how does that happen? This is like a normal 8-person draft. This isn't like what I did before. There's an 8-person draft. They have all those Mox in. They have Urza's Saga, Mishra's Workshop to play like Traxos, Nettle Cyst, Cranial Plating. Yeah, this deck is nuts. Michiko's Reign of Truth. This is one of the best decks I've ever seen. So that's the thing. There's another Elves player. They have Craterhoof. Earthcraft is the best Elves enabler. You just like play any creature, tap them, untap lands. You just go off that way. This deck is... What is this deck? Mons Goblin Wader's Sacrifice. Looks like they had some amount of like burn going on. I think it's just kind of like a 5-color Niv Mizzet Greed pile. Looks spicy. ECP Artifact combo. So normally there's enough cards to support Artifact combo and Artifact aggro. So this one's like the Tolarian Academy Paradoxical Outcome Kirk Clan Ironworks one with Thopter Foundry Sword of the Meek. Eager Wellspring KCI is pretty fun. And yeah, the deck looks spicy. Oh, this is the one I wanted to see. Black-White Sacrifice with Rally the Ancestors. Gets back all your creatures, sacrifice them all. So this can get you back your Persist combos. This can get you back creatures to just trigger stuff off Blood Artist. I love this deck. Diabolic Intent is spicy there. Yeah, it looks good. This is me. So that's all of them. But yeah, there's like, we've done so many drafts.